Welcome Travel Tech EU and Canada 2024 for edition,
where the transformation begins. By becoming a sponsor at Travel Tech, you'll gain access to an exclusive platform to showcase your brand to a global audience. Here's why you should sponsor our event. Travel Tech provided knowledge to more than 167 countries. Travel Tech is the largest online event in the travel and hospitality industry, reaching the milestone of over 1,500,000 unique impressions in its events. Delivering to the world knowledge, free education, inclusion, and effective networking for evolution in the industry. Being an excellent means of showcasing your brand. Over 80,000 people attended our live events, generating more than 19,000 hospitality and travel-focused leads.
In the bustling world of hotels, guests expect prompt, courteous service from booking to check-in, all the way to check-out. Meanwhile, the front desk is overwhelmed with emails, phone calls, check-ins, and guest requests. Introducing Guest Chat, a virtual assistant that helps your staff answer guest questions instantly via chat, 24/7, with a multilingual, fine-tuned white glove service. From booking to check-in, all the way past checkout. Join the revolution in hospitality service. Elevate your guest experience with Guest Chat today.
Welcome to the future of hotel marketing with HS Latam. Our self-managed, easy-to-edit websites are designed to captivate and convert visitors into customers. High-standard website with top 1 speed in the world. With our digital marketing solutions, elevate your online presence. Reach the right audience at the right time. Optimize your sales strategy to maximize revenue and efficiency. And with our advanced Power by Analytics, track your success and make data-driven. HS Latam. Transforming hotel marketing. Worldwide. HS Latam. Transforming hotel marketing. Worldwide. Transforming hotel marketing. Worldwide. Introducing Travel Tech Academy, a platform offering free courses designed to share valuable knowledge from the best professionals in the travel and hospitality industry.
Our mission is to provide inclusive learning opportunities for those who may not have the means to gain qualifications otherwise. With Travel Tech Academy, you'll have access to top-notch resources and insights that can help propel your career in the travel and hospitality sector. Over 3,500 professionals have already taken the course on our platform, acquiring knowledge and improving their professional profile. Many professionals, through Travel Tech Academy courses, have managed to find better job opportunities in the job market. For more information, visit traveltechacademy.com. And to become a sponsor of Travel Tech, get in touch through our website, traveltechspace.com, or by email at geraldo@traveltechspace.com. Travel Tech, what else?
And we are live. Hello, hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where in the world you are right now. Welcome to Travel Tech USA and Canada 2024. My name is Paula, and I'm very happy to be here today and be the moderator of this panel with such fantastic panelists that you can already see on my screen, and that I will introduce them and welcome them very shortly. So this is a live show, and that means that we love interactions. So please make this as interactive as possible. Use the comments, ask your questions, and our experts here will do their best to answer you. So don't miss out this great opportunity. So today's topic is big data and DMC innovations for 2024. And as I said, I'll be the moderator today. I'm Paula. I'm a partner marketing specialist at Cloudbeds and a former hotelier. I've been working in the industry for 14 years, so please don't do the math there because it's a long time. For those who don't know what Cloudbed is, Cloudbed is the leading platform redefining the concept of PMS for the hospitality industry. We serve tens of thousands of properties in more than 150 countries around the world, built from the ground up to be masterfully unified and scalable. Our award-winning platform brings together built-in and integrated solutions that modernize hotel operations, distribution, guest experience, and data and analytics. So Cloudbeds was founded in 2012, and we are honored to have been named a top PMS hotel management software management system and channel manager between the years of 2021 to 2024 by Hotel Tech Report. So if you're curious about Cloudbeds and our solutions, please go visit our website, cloudbeds.com, or you can just contact me directly. I'll be very happy to talk to you. So all the guests are here, and I'm going to start welcoming them and let them introduce themselves. But first, just let me thank everybody, give a shout out to everybody that's watching us here. Thanks Travel Tech team, of course, for putting together this amazing event. And thanks to the sponsors of Travel Tech, EasyGo Band, Hotelverse, Insure Nomads, Guest Chat, Consup, Book Online Now, Hotel SS, and HA's Latam. So thank everybody, and let's get this started and welcoming our guest speakers. So first of all, I'm gonna start with Sally. Sally's here, right? Yeah. Hi,
I'm here.
hi, Sally. Welcome to Travel Tech. It's very nice to have you here. Could you please introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your company as well?
Yeah, of course. My name is Sally Bonnell. I'm the CEO and founder of Navi Savvy. Navi Savvy is a user-generated video platform in which everyday people, content creators, influencers are able to upload videos, unedited, vertical, of places that they recommend. And our company goes in and auto tags this content and makes every clip bookable. So then you can start building and visualizing and even book a video itinerary or each experience directly. We then in turn take that content and then license that content to tourism boards, to major brands, and then we utilize that into one big marketplace. So that's kind of Navi Savvy in a nutshell. I think you're on mute, Paula.
I am indeed, and that's just such a beginner's mistake, right? thanks for letting me know, Sally. So thanks again for being here and welcome to Travel Tech. Next, we have Luciana Delamari. So Luciana, welcome to Travel Tech USA and Canada. And the same goes to you. Can you please introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your company?
Of course, Paula. Thank you. Thank you all for having me here. As you mentioned, we have here today a transformation subject, and we believe that we can also add a lot to this discussion as we are talking about social entrepreneurship, regenerative cultures, and how we can create a big impact in the world by just thinking differently of how we can transform our destinations, as we can also improve the life of our visitors in general. So it's great to be here with you. Such a pleasure. So,
thank you so much, Luciana. The pleasure it's ours. And next we have Chris Glabinski. I hope I said it quite somewhat right, Chris. Thank you. Welcome to Travel Tech, and the same goes to you. Could you please introduce yourself and your company?
Yes. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, very well. As a travel tech company, sometimes we have to deal with travel. So I'm actually traveling now, and I'm in the hotel, so there may be some background noise. But I've just installed a noise canceling application. So hopefully that will work fine. So my name is Chris. I have a pretty big background in the travel industry around revenue management and distribution. And the company that I'm working with is Aggregate Intelligence, which collects information and data from the internet, and we provide a lot of big data insights into the whole travel industry. So we have hotel prices, airline schedules, demand, events, reviews, car parks, rent cars. We have demographics data. So anything that can be utilized now in the era of artificial intelligence and big data, we are the third-party provider of that information to technology companies, to hotels, airlines, as well as destination management companies who actually more and more digest the data in order to produce some insightful and actionable insights, marketing information, and destination specific packaging to be more aggressive to the customers. So that's where we're at.
Thank you so much, Chris, and welcome again to Travel Tech. And next we have, I think, Jose Feijó. Hope again that I didn't say too badly. Welcome, Jose, to the show. And the same, could you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your company?
Okay. Yes, my name is Jose. We are based in Galicia, in the northwest of Spain, and it's great to be here. Thank you for the invitation to participate in this event. Basically, what we do, we improve the marketing and sales of any travel products. We do it through interactive map. We are at Travel Tech. We have developed a software that allows all of you to create fantastic maps. These maps can be integrated on any website or digital campaign, and no need to have technical people to use it. So it's very easy very intuitive tool. So what we are doing is working mainly with tour operators and with destinations and DMCs. So they show through maps, through most of the time they already have the content, but shown through this platform, the engagements really rockets. As you know, people don't have time. They don't want to read, unfortunately. So everything has to be very visual. Of course, Sally agrees with this. And this is what we're doing, allowing any company in the world. There are more than 1.5 million companies in the world that could improve their marketing just incorporating interactive maps. So this is, well, the other thing is that we've been in business only 4 years. We're in our 4th year. The company it was founded by 5 of us, 4 engineers, gurus of tourism portals, and myself in the sales side. So we're in a very good moment. We just raised our first round of investment, and well, this is the reason also why we're here. So very nice to meet you and participate in this event. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jose. And last but not least, we have Noelani Stroy, I think it is. Sorry, could you can tell me how to pronounce it, Noelani. And well, welcome to the Travel Tech event session. And could you please also talk a little bit about yourself and the company?
Sure thing. So yes, my name's Noelani Shroy, and don't worry, all through high school, it's like having the name Madonna. You don't need a last name when your first name's Noelani.
I love that.
Fine. I've been called worse. I'm joking. Now, calling from Logic. So we are traditionally a revenue management system that's really developed into a commercial strategy platform, mainly because of the amount of data that we are consuming that is very useful and actionable throughout the disciplines of revenue management, sales, and marketing. And so we're huge data consumers. We absolutely love being able to simplify the efforts, deliver strategies, deliver actionable insights for hotels, as well as really recently we've had a lot of conversations with destinations on how to use the data that we're able to consume. Thrilled to be here. I'm really excited to be here with this panel specifically, and let's dive into the data.
Thank you so much, Noelani. And again, welcome to Travel Tech. So yeah, so let's get this started. As you said, let me just remind the audience to use the comments, ask questions, share your insights, your opinions. Again, we love interaction, so don't be shy and use this opportunity. So, okay, one of the big things that we're going to talk here is big data, as the panel's name already hint. So big data is such a hot topic right now. And I'm going to start with you, Noelani, actually, with the first question. So with the seemingly unending pool of big data, how are hotels able to sift through the noise to find the useful data?
That's great. So it's funny you say it's so hot right now. I always joke it's very Zoolander. Big data is so hot right now. But and the more that the industry has kind of progressed and really caught up in the technology space, the more data we have available to us. And I think we're all familiar with that term of analysis paralysis. There's just so much of it, and it's no longer feasible for any human to be able to dump it into a spreadsheet and be able to find what needs to be actioned. It's just not a human's job anymore. What we need is AI. And I know that's such a buzzword and actually been around for a very long time, but now we're starting to learn how to harness it in a way that can be understood by the general consumer. And because of that, AI is getting fine-tuned and we're really able to leverage it. So if any property, any hotel, any destination that is not utilizing an AI consumption of data is really, really hindering themselves. There's so much to be uncovered. So today we've got to go into using those, understanding those platforms and allowing those types of machines and technologies to do the consumption of all of that major data to allow the user, the humans, to add that personalization piece, because we're not getting replaced as humans, but it's time to outsource some of that kind of more administrative data crunching pieces to technology so that our users, our humans, can add in that human personalization aspect.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you were mentioning, of course, the use of international artificial intelligence, sorry, and all the big data. Just a follow-up question from my side, actually. Do you think, with your experience with your customers and other guests too, if they want to share their experience, do you think the hospitality industry as a whole is embracing more artificial intelligence, or is still it's like a science fiction topic? And big data and data too, because I'm talking as a former hotelier. Usually hoteliers do not like much data. We like to talk. We are not as much as to do the math or analysis or things like that. So what's your opinion? Is changing? Is there I don't know, industries and companies are accepting more and understanding better?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that AI is definitely being embraced within the hospitality industry, and especially those, the hospitality professionals who understand that AI is not going to be taking your job, but people who understand how to use AI will take your job. So it is on us to be able to evolve and develop and understand how to maximize the use. I truly do hope that for our industry, we never outsource the hospitality aspect to AI. I think that that's something that's going to be very important that we hold on to, and it's how do we mesh those two. That's really going to be where the future of our industry lies. But and then when it comes to the big data piece, it's been very interesting watching disciplines that historically didn't really want the data aspect as much really are embracing it, because they want to be able to use that. Even like the creatives, you think of like the marketers who really have that creative side to them, are very much embracing technology and data, because they're able to use that piece to really push themselves forward. So the creativity is not being hindered. In fact, it's being enhanced by being able to use that data and AI.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's starting. I can see, at least in the hotel industry specifically, it's where I have more experience. It is changing a little bit, this mindset of they're gonna get my job, to it's gonna help me do my job better. So yeah, I totally agree with you. Thanks. Next question goes to Chris. So Chris, in your opinion, how can big data and analytics, we were talking about big data and analytics, so how they can let's start again. How can big data and analytics around hotel pricing, airline fares, car rental rates, events, and online reviews help DMCs better understand travel demand patterns and preferences?
Thank you for the question. Just before I answer, I think I totally agree with Noliani, what she's mentioned about the data, about overwhelming of the data, and about hotels and all of the companies trying to process the data. I think the revolution started with ChatGPT, and we observed that as data providers, that the more companies have ability to process the data, the more data they need. So we have been having so much more requests within the last year than compared to previous years, simply because people can utilize this data again. So totally agree with and you need AI to process this data for sure. I agree, AI is a buzzword and people start to live with it, learn with it. But I think since a year ago, we had a conference on revenue management and pricing. We were talking very cautiously about AI and, we need to control it, etc. Today, in this year, we are talking how to utilize it. And the more we put AI in places to manage the data, the better we become and the more insightful impacts we get from this data, so that we can tell which data is actionable, which not. So coming back to the questions, I think this is the place exactly where DMCs are also positioned. They have the ability to harness more data, they have the ability to process more data, and now they start to see a lot more. And I used to always say that, well, you don't see what you don't see, but now as you see more, you start to realize all of the things that are happening. You start to see your competition. You start to see how other destinations are, how other destinations are attractive. So with big data like ours, okay, we don't have all the data, but we have a lot of data. You can tell how your destination is attractive versus another competitive destination in terms of hotel prices, in terms of airlines that fly into the destination, in terms of rent-a-cars, in terms of demographics. There's so many things that we are looking at. The destination management companies can identify peak demand periods that are correlated with events or seasonality of hotels or seasonality of the airlines. We can reveal price sensitivities across different customer willingness to pay. They can uncover most valued hotel amenities, for example, because we have all that data. What are the most popular room types, or what are the biggest availability of room types in their destinations? They can discover the brand and experience. But if you, for example, add reviews into that, that's a whole another level of trying to analyze from reviews, for example, what the customers coming into the destinations are appreciating, or what they are wishful thinking, or what they are suggesting to change, because they will put reviews on hotels or airlines, but they will also put reviews about the destination that they are coming into. So, but just to give you an example of how this could work for the DMCs utilizing a lot of the data. So imagine that we reveal a high air travel demand from Boston to Miami in late February. And we correlate that to school vacation periods from across America. It's not easy to get that information because every state and every type of school has different data. So it's not just something that you can download from the internet. Then we can add that to the spikes of hotel pricing for the same period of time. Then we can use hotel searches or airline searches that are clustered around maybe resort hotels. And then we can cross-analyze that with some positive reviews from family-friendly resort hotels so that the DMCs can target the marketing activities, they can target the packages, they can target their communications, and use the budgets that they have to promote exactly specific target of customer into exact specific target of reasoning that they want that the customers are coming into a destination. So there's plenty of opportunities as long as you have the data and as long as you have the ability to process this data. So it's the key thing. And I think the AI will be helping us more and more, giving us the opportunity to more and more digest this data for the MC companies, but also for hotels, for the airlines, and for anyone else. So that, I think, is just a starting point for us as data providers, but also DMCs and in travel industry. We're just entering a new era, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree, Chris. And as you were talking, I was thinking, I love the all possibilities data provide, to be honest. And I think a lot of decisions are still made based on guessing, unfortunately. And why we have already, because before, well, we didn't have the technology. Okay, we didn't know how to. But even I see even companies that had the technology, they don't know how to best use it, maybe, and they still don't use it. So it puzzles me.
Well, absolutely, you're right. And I think we all need time to adapt to this data. And it especially is around revenue management sphere, where there is some risk of revenue lose or gain when it comes to decisions. And we were very good for the last 20 or 30 years. We were very good in intuitive decision making. And the worst case scenario, our decisions were 50% accurate because they were either good or bad, and that's it. And what we need to realize that with machine learning or deep learning or large language processing, we can increase the decision-making accuracy up to 95%. But we have to realize that it doesn't come from changing the effects of artificial intelligence or the recommendations from artificial intelligence, but the ability to utilize, like Noelani said, to utilize AI in everything you're doing, in the decision that you are making. So that's the key transformation that we have to all go through in our mindset. Because if you talk about people who have been working in the past, their habits and their business was based on their own intuitive. That's why I'm making money, because I am in good decisions. Well, at the moment, AI can make a lot better decisions and a lot faster. It will process hundreds of millions of different parameters to create the scenarios for you that will have the lowest cost of an error. So you need to be a little bit smarter in your decision making when you apply AI. So that's absolutely true. I think we need time, a little bit more time to that, but we are, I think, progressing very well towards a good direction.
Thank you, Chris. And again, I'm going to encourage people, the audience, to interact with us, and even the panelists too. Don't be shy to add your thoughts or your insight. I think, Jose, did you
Yes.
raise your hand? Oh, okay, cool.
Yes, I have a question for both of you, Chris and Noelani. So obviously the solutions that you have sounds great, but at the same time you need lots of data. Otherwise, the processing of that information, I guess, is going to be pretty weak. So I'm here based in Spain. We are starting EST now. If you go to the news, you'll see that all across the country, the occupancy rate is going to be around 90%, even without big data for, 90% of the companies. As you know, there's a lot of fragmentation within the industry. And I guess most of them, they are not in a position to purchase this kind of solution. So which is the threshold for the use of this? How do you see it? Is it just in terms of data, in terms of pricing? How do you see that, and how you would help also smaller companies that they lack the data, and how they should be doing this transformation? Because obviously the big change that I see now is that now access to data and process the data is very easy compared to a couple of years ago. So which is your view on that? How can we help smaller companies, smaller destinations to make the most of this?
You want to go first, Chris?
Do you want to? I'll be a gentleman and let you, but I can if you want.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, so I think so. That's a very good point, Jose. If you have a very comfortable situation where, like you say, a lot of hotels run 90% during Easter, and even if it's not Easter, they drop down to 80%. They are in a very comfortable position. So what does push them in order to start applying, big data and all this technology and investments, which people not normally understand well, if things are nice, wealthy, and healthy, right? So this is something that is applicable. The AI and big data will be very much considered if you are in a situation where you need to do something, otherwise your business goes down. And this is the situation where this is probably the reason why the airlines, for example, that have very minimal profit margin, they go for big data much faster than the hotels industries and destination companies. Because if you're looking at 1% of a profit margin on an airline, then you got to make sure that you do all the things right. So I always give this example of comparison where if you're running on 1% profit margin, then you take a lot of months, like the book example of an American airline, I don't remember which one, was taking few months to analyze whether they should take one olive from the tray or not. And when they took that one olive from the tray, they gained $300,000 benefit from that towards the profits. And that was significant for them. At the same time, hotels have a measurement that is called food waste, right? Where they say 10%, 20% is a food waste that we can afford because our profitability goes around 30 or 40%. So for as long as some businesses will be comfortable not feeling any competitive threats, they will be taking it easy with the technology and investments and big data, and they will say, "Hey, it's just a buzzword." But the moment you come across the need to really deliver your KPIs and revenues, this is where you start being open for different opportunities.
And Chris, I love that you. Yeah, I love you brought up that the olive on the salad. I always love that example, because it really is just that idea of it's small incremental changes. If there was one massive hit, then we'd all be doing it. It'd be easy, right? But it's finding where is that olive in your hotel structure, in your destination, like what is that one olive? And that's where the data comes in. And that also leads to another piece that I think is really important as we're talking about like the smaller hotels or the smaller destinations and things along those lines. One of the evolutions that I think that we as technology experts in this space really have to embrace is working well together, because we have been historically really keeping our pieces to ourselves. And what that's done is just hindered the overall industry. So what I'm seeing now is this kind of really interesting emergence of the technology partners kind of opening the kimono and going, how can we start working together better? How can your data make me better? And how can my data make you better? How do we start partnering here? And so I think those are going to be the evolutions that are really going to have that trickle down effect, because it is those smaller ones, right, that these moves are going to have a really high impact on. They're going to have new exposure to new data points, to new initiatives that they don't have, the mega brand backing to go and find. So now making that accessible, because partners like this, and we're having conversations like this, and we're allowing each other to start working together, that's where the impact is really going to be great.
Totally agree. And talking about the hotel industry, we see more and more companies working together, and it's crucial even for the hotel itself, of course. Otherwise, you have data there spread, and then it makes even more complicated to understand and to use and everything else. And I liked when before, I think was Chris was mentioning about the changing. I see this a lot, at least from my perspective, because the biggest difficulty, in my opinion, it is changing the mindset, and it's difficult, like how to use big data, because we are used to do things a certain way, and we are animals of habits. So we like to do, we tend to do the same things the same way. We don't like change, and then when you come with some technology that's gonna disrupt this, I think the first reaction is not to adopt well, at least, or be hesitant and all that. So I think, in my opinion, it's crucial to have a more training. I don't see much training. I think, at least, again, in hotels, I don't know, in our industries, how you see this, but it's hard for the employees also to embrace and big data or AI or whatever it is, the technology, if they don't fully understand how it used and how it would benefit them. So I think it's lacking a lot of training. That's why I also like this type of events, that it's educational. I think it helps a lot to change the mindset. Yeah. Okay. I don't know.
If I may comment something, two things in terms of partnerships and collaboration. I think Cloudbets is one of the biggest example, right? So many partnerships you are providing, you are announcing this year, and there will be more partnerships that you will be coming through, and I think this is great. PMS companies offer marketplaces where technology companies are available there, so that the customer, the user, can just select from the libraries of different companies in order to connect. So that collaboration is really expanding. But as you mentioned, habits, I think one of the best, the reason why I'm looking into AI and I'm passionate about AI and all these solutions is actually the habits, because I think I'm the laziest person in the world. I was born on Sunday midday. So there's no one more lazy than I. And lazy people used to search for easy and smart solutions. So if anyone out there is kind of lazy, the AI is the way to solve your problems. Trust me, based on me.
I really like your, your analogy, Chris. Thanks. And I think it was Jose who said that we also want things fast, like we don't want to waste time. We want, and then AI, it's a very fast and efficient solution, I guess, for a lot of things now in our daily lives.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so moving to the next question. I again encourage everybody to continue the discussion because it's I am learning a lot, at least. So the next question is to Sally. How can DMOs leverage big data from user generate content to enhance destination image and attract potential visitors? So let's change a little bit on the topic. And Sally, please.
Yeah, awesome. And Chris, to add to yours, I think as you talked about, people want to be able to do things quick, and that's exactly what they see, what they want, and they buy it. And that's really where we're starting to see user-generated content come into play as it pertains to short-form video and authentic content. So, I mean, just as we've already learned with big data, we're working with some of the largest companies, with TikTok, with Meta, and really understanding that short-form video is the new demand. And that's what we've really noticed is, right now, if you look, so some facts and figures, but basically 60% of people post a video while they're on a vacation, which is actually at the most point of intersection for your fan base, your friends and family, which are still your number one influence of influencing where you're going to go next. So that content actually is called user-generated content. That's not expensive brand content. That's not this edited. That is genuine user to user. So this content actually is getting 4 times more click-throughs than any of your professional content that you're making. So if you're a big brand, quit making professional content. It's not working. You're spending, 3x of what you would normally do on the cost for this, because trust me, I used to be the head of a record label for video content. And it was the rise of UGC that said, holy I'm going to be out of a job, there's no beeper on this panel, I see, but and then what they're showing now is with that content, they're getting higher conversions. So they actually, Expedia did a test and they used user-generated content in which they had a 30% increase on hotels that had a UGC video for each booking. So that is right there proving your model that this is a quick on demand. So as this starts applying to DMOs, people are visual. I always say a photo says 1,000 words, but a video says a freaking billion. And you can see within a 30-second unedited video of the experience you're going to have. And I think that is the number one reason that people want to go on a destination. It is the experience that they're going to have. And the experience providers are the driving piece. And I'm actually doing a test with an airline right now because they said, well, how do we choose that experience to be associated with our airlines? So I'm actually doing a test with them in which we're going out and shooting all the video content within that and utilizing that back into their campaign strategies, from social to booking. That same content's being used on their websites and then for a purchase power through the airline. So it is really about streaming UGC content across your entire strategy. And DMOs can actually really take part in this and be those drivers, and you can basically be leaning on your network of people that are already tagging you in content. And this is something that Navi Savvy is doing. We're basically crowdsourcing UGC content of places that people are already recommending and using those back into the campaigns to help fuel the tourism boards, to help fuel, the next campaign for highlighting these destinations. So those are kind of some of the big pieces in which we're really trying to, social media is driving these strategies. And that's what we're kind of really seeing in these big data sets is, and as I hate to say, but travel's a dinosaur, and people have been utilizing social commerce for a while now. And if you can start putting this and marrying this to your destinations as DMOs, then it's a game changer. And that is where you really have to see is that visual is a purchase power. And once you've had that purchase power of booking that experience through a social commerce or onto your next website, then you're tied into a destination. You're tied into looking at the next hotel. You're picking your airline. So it all feeds around each other. So that's kind of like what our big piece is and why we see video content, UGC of that is really driving the DMO game.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yes. I'm asking
okay,
a lot
we
of
should be working together, by the way, after I heard your pitch.
No, the question is going to be in that direction is which is the profile of the content, who are the people behind the content that you have in your platform. Is younger generations that are meant to be the ones that really focus on the TikToks and all that, or which is the profile of the people that are uploading the content?
So it's really interesting because short form content has well been associated with Gen Z, millennials of that generation. But what we're seeing is you're now getting older generations, demographics that are gravitating to video. I always use a joke, but my dad and YouTube, like they're new best friends. Like the video content is now captivating a whole new audience because your video content originally was your traditional television. And now when you have bite-sized pieces of content, we see engagement completely up through. There was actually, funny enough, some tests we had done with all ages and demographics, and they were more likely to book an experience based on that video. It didn't matter your age group. It was the visual component that made that decision factor more, the purchasing power behind that. You felt better about making that purchase because travel is a bit risky. And unless you know someone who's been there or you can visually see it for yourself, it's a bit of a guesswork. And 4 photos and a few reviews aren't telling you that, aren't going to tell you that that's the same experience that I'm going to go have, especially as you start looking at promo video and highly edited influencer content with music. It's there to spark your interest, but they're not making that direct connection with that content. So that's where you're really starting to see now is all demographics are engaging with this, and everyone's becoming visual in short form.
Right.
Yeah, and I think, oh, sorry, go, Chris. I can, yeah, please.
Oh, sorry, thank you. I think that was a very short but an amazing insight, and it kind of opened my eyes. Can you just tell me again, the user-generated content, how many times it's, what's the multiplier? 4 times.
4x.
More.
So if you have a brand video and you have a user-generated video sitting next to each other,
Yeah.
people are 4 times more likely to click on that
That's
video.
amazing.
And I'll tell you
That's
what,
amazing.
It's about authenticity. That is the new buzzword, and around everywhere. People want to be authentic and they want to have the real experience. Like it is not about, and to get into AI, we've become a generation in which you can't believe anything because of AI, or you've been photoshopped to death. And people are now craving and going back to wanting to know what their real experience is going to be, and especially as it comes to a travel destination. That's great if a promo video makes you look this beautiful couple on the beach, but what is the real experience that I'm going to have? And in the customer journey process, it's actually people are the happiest before they even leave on their trip. That is the happiest point in your journey. That's BS. Like you should, not that we're here to lower your standards ahead of time, but we're here to basically say, I want to know what I'm getting in for, because the two things that people have the less amount of is time and money when they travel. And if that video that's authentic can help you be reassured about that purchase and what you're going in for, then you're all set up for a higher, you're basically setting yourself up as a brand better off than throwing in all the magic. And that's the nice part. People have said, oh, well, aren't brands just going to do AI video? Well, good luck with that. I've been playing around with it and it looks fake. People, it's when you type in on some of these platforms like Portugal beaches, and it's like, you're like, you feel like you're in a warped world,
I think this is amazing. And if you think about, well, the subject is DMCs. My perspective on the DMCs is when I go to WTM in London, which is one of the largest travel trades in Europe. When I go to ITB, another largest travel trade, and I see all these Saudia or all these DMCs, great stands with made videos, they must be not aware of the conversion factor that you have just mentioned 4 times from authenticity. So
they're becoming aware, Chris. I'm talking.
Well, exactly. Well, there's a shout out to everybody. Well, start taking that into consideration, because the huge stands that they pay 150,000 euros for is actually probably less converting than a couple of authentic videos that can. I think this is amazing. I mean, this is the future.
Yeah, just add something here, if I may, Sally. User-generated content, I think, is a powerful weapon, as you already showed us, and it's my understanding, my opinion at least, many brands don't know how to use it because they are a little bit afraid that that content, it's not aligned with their brand message, like it's not perfectly, I don't know, sad or something, and then they I don't know, I think they fear that something bad will come out of it, and then don't use it as much as they could. And I think it's funny too that before we used to, I think it's a powerful weapon, because before we used to rely on people that we know for advice and stuff, and now it's very funny that strangers have more power on our decisions. If you see people posting and then you believe it, and user-generated content is, I think it's a proof of this power.
Friends and family are still your number one influence, and that's why there's the rise of the micro influencer. You have more power over your own community, and you start seeing this, and that's where we're also seeing, I won't say the bubble of influencers is going to burst, but the power lies in which your community makes a purchase based on your recommendations. And so that is where they're really trying to say, and where DMCs need to be captivating in on, is saying, you are currently in our destination. You've enjoyed this experience. This is the kind of content we need to be having you tagged in, reutilizing that content. And, that's what we're trying to do at Navi Savvy, is categorize positive recommendations. And that's also, I don't want to tell my friend the 8 worst restaurants in New York City. I'm going to give you my cream of the crop curated list together and a positive recommendation. So we're not here to bring small businesses down. We're here to empower small voices with similar content so you can have an apples to apples conversation.
Yeah, as Steve is mentioning here in the comments, and worse yet, the brand uses an influencer not authentic at all. And I think that, thanks for joining the conversation, Steve. And I agree. And it could go on and on. This I'm from marketing, so I have to control myself.
Save on your budgets, trust me. Come to me and I can slash your budget in a quarter.
Yeah, but choosing the right influencer is also a very hot topic that we definitely need to think about it. Yeah.
And brands are getting very nervous by that. Not take up all the time, but they're getting very nervous in the sector because they're starting to see they don't want to attach themselves to one influencer, because that one influencer is now locked into their campaign in perpetuity on their social channel. And they just spent $20,000 flying them in to shoot a bunch of content that's edited and they can never reuse. So I think that's really have to come in and see the power of the people have just as much, So. I could talk all day about
Yeah,
this.
me too.
Sorry.
Thanks, Sally. And we can move to the next question for Jose. He already also mentioned the importance of the visual content, but the question now for you, Jose, is about the trends. So we are already talking here a little bit. Sally's mentioning videos, but which are for you the main trends in 2024 regarding technology, both from the consumer and the DMCs and destinations perspectives?
Yeah, it's important to bring the perception of the consumers, because at the end of the day, they are the guys that paying the bills of all of us. So obviously we don't really hold big data, so we have to rely on some people producing the reports. And I recommend the report from last year from Expedia. It's called, I think how was the name of the path to purchase? I have to look into my computer. But the path to purchase report that they're saying that it takes up to 71 days from the inspiration to the purchase of the product. And when we don't have the time, it doesn't make sense that the process is so long. Apparently, people on average, they have to look up to 141 pages, websites, to find the information and to decide. So obviously for brands like ourselves, we have a lot of opportunities in the whole process to improve that process. So, if people don't have the time, we have to do something about it. Then the other very important thing that you've been mentioning all this time is these are consumer changes on their mindset. I think there's an evolution, and Luciana probably will talk about it in a few minutes. From possessing things, owning things, to enjoying experiences. I think it's a complete new way of, the discovering of these authentic places, not going, go off the beaten path. Why don't we go to some places that are not for everybody? So if this the consumer mindset, we have to do something about it. And then of course, personalization. Okay, obviously all of us, we expect to have personalized experiences, but without paying the tag of a luxury product. That is what we used to do in the past, and obviously the technology is enabling all of this. From the perspective of the DMCs, and what we're seeing is that they are really focusing on solving these issues. In our case, when we work with DMCs, they want to show their products, their experiences in a new way, in a very visual way. So we are solving these issues also for DMOs. And then for experiences, when people are looking for experiences, for DMOs in particular, it's very good to offer those things that in the past were not so interesting. So let's say Spain was beach and sun. Why don't we offer other things, smaller things? And technology is allowing to offer this in this personal way. So for me, these are the three main topics. It's a bit counterintuitive, because if we're going like very niche, and the big data is going for the big masses, so how do you balance that? Obviously, with the AI, it's possible to reach these edges. So yeah, this is my contribution to this conversation. So, as I say, it's a bit counterintuitive. Obviously, in the travel business, experiences, giving a service, a special service, is something that in the end is quite personal. You cannot really take out that personal support, but yeah.
As we were talking before about AI and being lazy, as Chris mentioned, when you were talking about consumer behavior, I'm reading more and more that people are now relying, or at least consulting ChatGPT to choose a destination, for example, just because they think it's much easier to take a decision, to make a decision based on AI. You did have more experience in this particular area. Do you see AI being used, or have you heard something about this new behavior?
In our case, we are using a lot AI, but from an operational purpose. So At the end of the day, putting things on a map is structuring the data properly. And the delivery of the information can be through maps, can be through videos, can be through a number of, but the important thing is that information is really well structured. The curiosity here is that when you are trying to offer a special hidden gem, it will not be on on ChatGPT. And what you were mentioning earlier, Sally, people don't really want to go to the same pizza place. They want to discover the other things, and maybe they come through a video that's generated by somebody like yourself. So how this big data is working on that side, I don't really know. But what I know is that obviously DMCs, where they have usually they have a big portfolio of products, to make them special, to make it really memorable, connect with these new mindsets. It's a great opportunity for them, obviously, but more from an operational point of view, to do more things in less time, but at the same time, keep the branding experience. Come on, well, you're based in the US, most of you, so it's so important is the branding. In digital transformation, there are three drivers of value: increasing sales, reducing cost, but also the customer experience. As a brand, you are a DMC or a DMO, projecting yourself in a better way, going towards this personalization and offering the special things, I think is still a very valuable driver. In terms of operationals, using technology, great. This 1% marginal is great, and it will be a very profitable percentage. So I keep this thing open, like experiences, branding also has to play a big part on this, and connect with this authenticity that comes not from these big influencers, but from your next door neighbor. So
okay, yes, go ahead, Chris, please.
So just to comment on your question, I think ChatGPT is coming into travel, and I think Trip.com was one of the first big brands that implemented ChatGPT in their experience. But everything depends on how you train ChatGPT and how you ask for the data, because obviously it needs to get to know how you prompt ChatGPT is how you get the output. But I would assume if Trip.com is doing an exercise where they train GPT to actually have all the experiences that they are processing, all the customer behaviors, and if they are allowing a customer to specify and define what are you looking for, what do you need, and what type of budgets you have, etc., I think based on other people's experiences who are the same as the one that is requesting, you can get pretty decent recommendations instead of browsing 71 days for 130 pages, as you've mentioned, Jose. So I think it's coming, but people will need to learn how to prompt well GPT and how to train well GPT.
I always, just jumping in, I always ask in my own hometown what the best nightclubs are. I lived in New York City, and when I see the places in Times Square pop up, I'm like, this is not kind of the places that I want. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to find the best hidden gems and cool experiences and things to do coming across your Chat GPT right now. I've been talking with and watching, and I test out a bunch of these, and it's like, I would not recommend any of these. They're basically pulling from huge data sets, but that's only because that's what they have. That's the data they have that they've acquired from your TripAdvisor. And if you go to somewhere in China, you go to, and McDonald's is the #1 restaurant. I mean, come on, it's like, yeah, it's a long line. I know when you get there, it's what you want, but no, it's like those are the kind of things that you can't always trust it, and just having that, and you've got to start taking it for user by user and not just trusting what the data always tells you. So for each user specifically.
Yeah, but you have to specifically request for what you're looking for. So if you say, I'm looking for an authentic nightclub, it will eliminate all the tourist-based and popular rankings from TripAdvisor, etc., that it's using as an input to get you the output. So I think it's we all need to learn how to interact with the GPT. So, for example, I've just realized a couple of days ago that you can train GPT yourself. It's not a GPT conference, is it? But uh, you can actually upload your materials into GPT so that it uses only your materials. And if you will prompt GPT only using my content that I have uploaded, please give me this, this, and that, you're getting really decent output. And I think this is where users of GPT will be going through. So I'm not a tourist. I'm not a fast food eater. I am not this. Learn about me and then bring me the content that I'm really looking for. And I think ChatGPT will be able to do that.
I think yes, but that's what's pulling across the web is you start categorizing videos and inspiration from social media channels. That's where it's missing for right now, at least. And that's where I think most recommendations are coming and inspirations coming from right now.
Sure.
Yeah. True. Just one last follow up for you, Jose, that you were mentioning experience is what people are looking for now in destinations more than the fancy whatever they used to get. Do you think, in your opinion, with your experience, that destinations know what is unique to them? Because I do see still a lot of businesses of all kinds not being able to see what their unique selling point. You know what I mean? They still do, like we were talking now. They're still just showcasing the same things. Do you think the destinations in general, they are understanding that?
Depends on their level of maturity.
Okay.
Both in terms of their economic destination, but also in terms of the digital phase in which they are. Obviously, the more sophisticated ones, the more mature ones, they've already tried to do this over the last few years, focusing on sustainability or new things to do, alternative things to do. But what we're always saying to them is, you have a wonderful destination. You have to know what is special about you. I agree. A lot of times they don't have a clue about it. I had some conversations in the past when they didn't have a good picture, and it looks like, it's your fault. Your CMS needs good pictures from me, so I'm not adopting them. Come on, it's not about it's about boldness. It's about yourself. If you cannot really think, if you don't think that a good picture is a need from anybody, how can you promote anything? So it will depend on the level of maturity, but I really believe that the most advanced ones, they already know, and they've been working with the industry, with the ecosystem on making the most of these experiences. And yes, for sure. And ourselves as a tool, maybe is an example. It could be interesting for any of you that are selling this type of technology. In some cases, we work with the DMO, so they are the guys purchasing our solution, and then they share the tool with some of the companies in the ecosystem. So they are sharing. All of them are responsible in the promotion of the destination. It's not only the private companies doing it or the public companies do it. They should be working together, as you were mentioning earlier, and to make the most of it and really convert them, digital, assets. So this digital asset can be used and make the most of them by the whole industry. So eventually, instead of working on silos, you work together, and you will be reaching a broader audience, and you manage to bring more people into your experience or into your destination. So,
just to add to that 2 seconds. So I've seen in the use case, it's called a DNA, a Digital Nomad Association, that is attached to each tourism board, and they're really utilizing the digital nomads that are now coming to their countries. So you look at a place like Albania, and they are the new hotspot for all digital nomads. First, Croatia was a hotspot, but then as soon as they joined Schengen, now Albania, because they need another spot, and the prices. And digital nomads spent $787 billion last year. on travel, and they're full-time travelers. So they are the new traveler right now, because they're in destinations, usually off season. They usually have a paycheck of 6 figures is what they average, and they're spending 3 months in a destination revitalizing that experience, or that ecosystem. So they've really been where people are now starting to see what the new experiences are, and they've been the pushers and the gatekeepers even before the influencers of what to do in a destination. So that's something that DMOs really need to start getting in touch with.
Chris, you're gonna say something?
I was going to compliment, because
Okay.
I think we got here to a point where I can contribute a little bit more. We are talking finally about preparing destinations from humans to humans, and it's becoming more and more demanding for companies, not only companies but institutions, to think ESG as a part of their agenda full time. It's no way for us to keep going only thinking about revenue. Of course, it's very good to have revenue. It's important to have money to work and better resources to work on the destination. But we always think, and as Jose said, and I really like the way that Sally complemented it, third sector associations, institutions, non-private or non-governmental, together with other institutions, must always have a voice and work together on local development, because finally what we are talking about is how we are going to make destinations more and more sustainable or regenerative, in a way that we are not only gaining, or companies are only gaining with their activities, but they're also providing opportunities for locals, for local communities to develop themselves. So this is part of our job as well, to come with advocacy. Is structured in a country, for example, like Brazil, continental dimensions. And of course, we have a strong work on social, economic, cultural, environmental dimensions. So it is very important for us to consider in our dialogues, in our agenda, how we are going to improve that, and how big data can also help us to map and to facilitate that in a way that everybody is pretty much responsible for what we are building here, and holding accountability for a lot of decision making that the companies are actually on a daily basis taking. So when Chris said something about food waste, it really touched me in a way that, of course, this is something very important for us to improve, because we are talking about hotels KPIs. And when we think about this dimension of data, we must always think how we are going to make it better, not only more profitable. So in a way that we can also see data in a way that how we are going to construct or build together a better ecosystem for our tourism to develop. And also provoking here also with you this all idea of what type of information the third sector or institutions, associations in general need to take to this decision-making process, because finally we are acting on pains and problems. We are facing that in a way that we must always take decision based on data, but always with a perspective that we must solve problems. We cannot only solve this matters, this local matters, by improving economy itself. So it has to do with understanding holistically what's going on in the territory or in the regions where we are working. And as Sally said, visitors are not happy enough with an image on a beach of a couple or whatever. We want much more. We want to know what is the next experience, what is our next effective or something that's going to touch our hearts and our minds and our souls. As we are talking about well-being, we are talking about more consciousness, we are talking about improving our environments. It also has to do with how this data can help us, our data we are producing, our content we are producing, can actually raise awareness on our global problems. So we are all facing problems today that are based on bad decision making. So what we need right now is to think about how we are going to make better decisions from now on, and how we are going to monitor that in a way that we all keep this information open. And so we were talking about being more partners, being more together, exchanging that experience in a better way. So we can not only go to a destination and be sure that we are going to have an amazing tourist experience, but we are going to have an amazing biocultural individual experience. So this was very nice. I love this provocation from Jose, of course, because he's working with maps, so he knows what's going on in the territory, and yeah, it was a good provocation. Thank you.
The thing, I used to work in the fashion business for many years, and I was always interested in consumer trends. Okay, what's people are going to be wearing next? So we always talk about, you have information, that is data, that you have to convert into knowledge and then into insights. But you always needed to add this intuition. Why? Because just the mathematics, they don't explain everything. And sometimes it's so important to connect with the consumer. I want to go to the discos. Next time I go to New York, I want to go to the discos where Sally's going. Okay,
I'll take you, Jose.
So myself and everybody else, I mean, most of the people, not everybody, but especially, that we classify the people in different, the early adopters, the innovators. So this will have to be, you will always be around for any product. And of course, we all want to go to this experience, wonderful experiences that connect with communities, instead of just being on the beach and like that. It was great until a few years ago, but nowadays people are in a different status. So.
And tourists are very easily. I mean, we can be driven to a decision making based on other humans' opinions. Yeah. And I've always said that I come from the hotel industry, and I always said this for those who have trained, that it's very easy to sell a caipirinha or to sell a wine. It's just the way how we present it, because we are becoming, we're coming with the solution for them. Because if they think about drinking something, if we suggest, usually this suggestion is the first option that this person is going to consider, right? So always when we are selling something and we are thinking about all these aspects or these dimensions of decision making, and also how we are now more aware and more demanding on how these products are being showcased, but also how they are being produced throughout the value chain. These are the questions that are important today, or they will be more and more important on a decision-making basis for the visitors. So how is it, what is happening, how is it happening, and why is it happening, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Luciana, and everybody. We are heading to the end of this panel, unfortunately. Luciana, I know you mentioned, just to really quickly here, you mentioned regenerative tourism in your answer. And if you can just summarize maybe in a minute or two, how can this be a measure of innovation? Do you have any insights to our audience just before we go?
Good question, Paula. Actually, when we talk about regenerative tourism, we are talking about the concept of regenerative culture, which was a book actually written by a biologist, environmentalist, and advocate for this matter of not only being on a sustainable level, but being in a regenerative level, is that Christian Daniel Wahl, that's his name. He wrote this book, and this is a very interesting book I consider every day for our decision making in our institute, about thinking that if it's not good for everyone, how we can thrive. Okay. So it must be all about understanding the ecosystem and understanding all these partnerships and understanding the consequences of the businesses. And thinking that, of course, data is important, but as we spoke earlier, intuition is important, and also the way we get together to improve things. It must take into account a lot of dimensions, a lot of data. And of course, right now, thinking about innovation, and as some of the Brazilian philosophers are saying, the future is ancestral. We must also try to find answers within our native peoples. We must try also to understand the basis of technology, not only in the digital, but how we used to do, what we're doing here. Basically, we are meeting each other. We are just having this wonderful conversation. We're exchanging knowledge, just like our ancestors did around the fireplace.
It's a modern fireplace for sure.
Exactly. So we are actually using an ancestral technology, but through a modern or digital modern tool. So it's amazing.
It's a nice analogy.
Yeah, it's a way just to put it into words how we in a daily basis we are fed with all this amazing ancestral information and technologies.
Yeah, that's awesome. Unfortunately, our time is up. I could go on and on here. So I want to thank everybody for being here today. First of all, I want to thank all our panelists. Our guest speakers. I want to thank the Travel Tech team for hosting this session and for organizing this amazing event. And of course, I want to thank everybody who is watching us, engaging with us. It was an amazing session. I had a lot of fun and I learned a lot too from this expert. So thanks again, everybody. And I hope to see you again soon. So bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Paula. Take care, guys. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Welcome Travel Tech
Bye-bye.
EU and Canada 2024 for edition.
Where the transformation begins. By becoming a sponsor at Travel Tech, you'll gain access to an exclusive platform to showcase your brand to a global audience. Here's why you should sponsor our event. Travel Tech provided knowledge to more than 167 countries. Travel Tech is the largest online event in the travel and hospitality industry, reaching the milestone of over 1,500,000 unique impressions in its events. Delivering to the world knowledge, free education, inclusion, and effective networking for evolution in the industry. Being an excellent means of showcasing your brand. Over 80,000 people attended our live events, generating more than 19,000 hospitality and travel-focused leads.
In the bustling world of hotels, guests expect prompt, courteous service from booking to check-in, all the way to check-out. Meanwhile, the front desk is overwhelmed with emails, phone calls, check-ins, and guest requests. Introducing Guest Chat, a virtual assistant that helps your staff answer guest questions instantly via chat, 24/7, with a multilingual, fine-tuned white glove service. From booking to check-in, all the way past checkout. Join the revolution in hospitality service. Elevate your guest experience with Guest Chat today.
Welcome to the future of hotel marketing with HS Latam. Our self-managed, easy-to-edit websites are designed to captivate and convert visitors into customers. High-standard website with top 1 speed in the world with our digital marketing solutions. Elevate your online presence. Reach the right audience at the right time. Optimize your sales strategy to maximize revenue and efficiency. And with our advanced Power by Analytics, track your success and make data-driven. HS Latam. Transforming hotel marketing. Worldwide. HS Latam. Transforming hotel marketing. Worldwide. Transforming hotel marketing. Worldwide.
Introducing Travel Tech Academy, a platform offering free courses designed to share valuable knowledge from the best professionals in the travel and hospitality industry. Our mission is to provide inclusive learning opportunities for those who may not have the means to gain qualifications otherwise. With Travel Tech Academy, you'll have access to top-notch resources and insights that can help propel your career in the travel and hospitality sector. Over 3,500 professionals have already taken the course on our platform, acquiring knowledge and improving their professional profile. Many professionals, through Travel Tech Academy courses, have managed to find better job opportunities in the job market. For more information, visit traveltechacademy.com. And to become a sponsor of Travel Tech, get in touch through our website, traveltechspace.com, or by email at geraldo@traveltechspace.com. Travel Tech, what else?